Welcome to E3.
I've said and said and said in many times that praying without planning is playing without knowing. Praying without planning is playing without knowing. I know that some of you have been wondering that all churches are doing their prayer programs, and why is House of Praise not doing theirs? Not to worry, in our church, we have been instructed to have a prayer week this week. So we will have prayer days. So on Wednesday, we'll have our prayer meeting, and on Sunday, we'll conclude. Praise God. But because we believe that our plans are the raw materials in the hands of God for an answered prayers, we will conclude with the plan today. So when we come here on Wednesday, you are coming here to present your plans before God. Hallelujah. We do not plan like people who don't have, we do not pray like people who don't have a plan. I have said it again and again that if you are praying to God for an open door, you must be standing in front of a door. Sometimes we are standing in the middle of a football field and we are asking God for open doors. You know, such things confuse the angels that God has assigned to come and answer our prayers. Because you are in the middle of a football field and you're saying, Lord, I'm praying, open door, open door. And the angels are here to deliver on your prayer request, but they can't find any door. So if you are praying to God for an open door, you must be in front of a door. Right? Are we together, please? So we don't pray like people who don't have a plan. Our plans are the raw materials in the hands of God. So when we are coming here on Wednesday, you are coming here with your 2021 plan to present it before the Lord and say, Lord, in line with what you expect me to do, I have done, I've planned. Now you show me the way to achieve these plans. You give me the insight. You give me the revelation knowledge. You grant me the direction to achieve these plans. But if you don't have a plan, you only come here. I'm sure by now you know that there is something like rambling in the altar of prayers. Rambling, that's just blabbing without making any sense in the altar of prayers. I'm sure you know that by now. Because many pray and they receive not because they pray amiss. Praise God. You know, it's possible to be in the prayer stage and just be saying, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Suzuki, or Uskapa, or buy me Shokoto Aroba Sanda, buy me Shokoto Aroba Sanda. You know, and guess what? You'll be feeling very good that yes, oh, buy me Shokoto Aroba Sanda, buy me Shokoto Aroba Sanda, oh, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Yamaha. And you are fulfilling your religious sensibilities and thinking that yes, but you are just blabbing and rumbling without making any sense. Praise God. So it is very possible for you to pray and shout and say all those things, and it amounts to nothing. It's exercise in futility. That's why we believe in planning. You must plan. And I must let you know that many of you are very lucky, especially the younger ones, that you are in a church where these things are being said. I know people can be more comfortable to be told that there are devils who are preventing you from success, so let's have a warfare program to kill them. Kill all the devils, all the... come on now. You are not that important. Really, you know, when people just think that, oh, all the enemies in the village from your father's side and your mother's, come on, who told you you are that important? If you have a Bentley parked in your garage or a private jet in Benin airport, and you know that, okay, if they kill you, there is something to inherit, then you will say, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. They are trying to kill me so they can inherit my wealth. But you don't have any such thing. So why do you think they're after you? You know, I'm saying this to take your mind away from those kind of thoughts. Nobody is really after you. Actually, nobody really cares. How many people from your village called you during Christmas? They would have called you to be sure that maybe you are hammering now so that they can know how to plan your killing by this year. They didn't bother. They didn't even remember that you existed. And let me say this. I've said it many times. You are of more value doing well for your village people than you are dead. So you see, these are preparations. You must delete those kind of thoughts. And I've said this over, for those of you who have been in this church long enough, you know this is our doctrinal direction. Nobody's after you from the village. And I know some of you say, no, Pastor, you don't understand. You know, the devil knows my future. The devil is not that smart. See, settle it in your heart. Satan or Lucy, they are not that smart. Because if they were that smart, they won't be repeating the same mistake every time. When Moses was born, the devil sent men to go and destroy every child because they could not pinpoint who Moses was. How dare you believe that the devil is that smart? You say, oh, they know my future. They know my future, so they are... No, they don't know your future. The devil does not know your future. Praise God. Who told the devil was that smart? They were after Moses. And yet, God made Moses to be raised in their own house. How dull can someone be? You know, the devil masterminded the plan to destroy Moses because, anybody that will bring deliverance because the prophets have spoken about him, so destroy him. And you know what God did? He took him back to the house of the devil to be raised. And he repeated the same mistake with Jesus. So who told you the devil knows your future? I beg you, be convinced. The devil does not know your future. The devil doesn't. So settle it in your heart that nobody is out there to destroy you. Nobody is out there. Nobody is out there to destroy you. You may have haters out there, but nobody really is out there to, you say, destiny destroyer. You know, all those kind of things. No, settle it. The biggest destiny destroyer you have around you is yourself. Is yourself. God told Abraham, come out, look up to the sky as far as your eyes can see. As far as your eyes can see. For the believer in Christ Jesus, that statement is still relevant. What do you see? What are you seeing? Praise God. Genesis 13, verse 14 to 18. And I've said this before, that the Lord told me many years ago that if I can dream, I can become. If I can dream, I can become. So I'm talking to you today so that you can open up your spiritual mind. Open up your mind and dream. If you can dream it, you can become it. God is committed to you. Can you tell your neighbor that? Say, God is committed to you. God is very committed to you. But you are not offering him anything to work with. So your plan is what you are offering God to work with. Can you just talk to yourself a little? Just ask yourself a very simple question. Did I really have a plan last year? Did I really have a plan last year? How many of you can name 3 plans that you had for last year? 3. 3 plans. I expect that the exercise of last week would have helped you to be more. But just how many, just in your rough mind, how many plans? Just name 3 plans you had last year. Praise God. Every enterprise is built by wise planning. They become strong through the use of common sense. And they profit wonderfully by keeping abreast with the facts. Without planning, dreams are aborted. I hope to be able to open up your mind to dream this morning. Think, envision. Sit down and think as far as you can. Dream as much as you can. If that's all we achieve this morning, it will be good. Praise God. And I'll try my best to make it just like last week. So when we are talking of dreaming, how many of you are following the manual? How many of you've gotten the manual? You know that we can have 400 people here, 300 people here, and we will do this exercise. Only about 2 or 3 or 4 will take it seriously and take action in line with what was being said, and it will work for them. The problem in life is not people not knowing what to do. The problem in life is people doing something with what they know. The majority of people do nothing with what they know. My biggest satisfaction in this church is watching people grow. People who came in, some of them were students, some of them were, and we are obviously seeing tangible, evidential growth in their personal lives. That's my biggest joy. The anointing is wasted when you don't have skills. When you don't plan, when you don't have management skill. The anointing is wasted in your life. There are many people who are more anointed than David Oyedepo. More anointed than Chris Oyakilome. More anointed than, what was that man's name? Pastor Joel Austin. But you know the impact of these men I've mentioned is stupendous. It's in a dimension that is, they stand out in their generation. It is the deployment of skills in addition to the anointing they have that makes the difference. Praise God. So today, I'll start with the beginning of, how many of you still have your note? How many of you have your note? I think we have the system fillable version, right? And it was sent to everybody, to the platforms. Couples, singles, leaders, workers, everything. It was sent. So you can get those ones. If you have an Android or an iPhone, you can be scribbling information. But I've said this, in this year, this church, please endeavor to always come to church with a note. Please endeavor to always come to church with a note. You know, I'm not a fantastic preacher. So I don't know how to excite with so much preaching, I remember one time we invited one bishop, one American bishop that came to church then in Faith Arena. Very crazy. I've never seen, some people have energy in this life, some pastors. God help me. The guy took the mic and he said, I have a confession to make. And everybody was wondering, what's going on? I have a confession to make. You want to hear it? He said, I'm going to preach. That was the confession. So today is preaching day. And when the guy started, I'm sure you were in church that day. He said, I'm going to preach. And when the guy started preaching, the whole place was on fire. So people just have this grace to preach. It's important that you have a learning note. You can see me every year. I take a new learning note when one finishes. I have them in piles from when this church started. I still have notes I took when Papa was alive and when he was here in the early 90s, School of Wisdom. I still have those notes, so it's important. So the first page here for 2021 is, first look at what does the year look ahead of you, what will happen in an ideal case, why will it be big, write down, draw, let go of your expectations and dare to dream. You take your cue from Genesis 13 when God called Abraham out after that Lot had left him and said, look as far, look at the east, the west. the north and the south, as far as your eye. Let's open that scripture, please. And the Lord said unto Abraham, after the Lord was separated from him, lift up now your eyes, and I'm saying that to you now, lift up your mind and look from the place where you are. Lift up your mind and project from where you're seated. Northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land which you see, to you will I give it. Praise God. All the land which you see, all the land which you see. So if you cannot see it, you cannot have it. All the land which you see. God was careful not to say all the land that there is. Because there is far more than you can see. Right? Are you in church today? There is far more than you can see. So God was very careful to limit what you can have to what you can see. All the land that you can see. The problem many of us have is that we are not seeing. So I'm here to help you to see. So lift up your mind from where you are now and look northwards, southwards, east and west. All that you can see, all that you can envision, all that you can comprehend, I will give it to you, saith the Lord. Praise God. So are you seeing now? Let me give you some time to think. Start looking. Are you seeing now? Let me give you, seriously now, start thinking for yourself. Are you thinking? Are you seeing? Are you seeing possibilities? Are you seeing what you can do? Are you seeing what you can become? Are you seeing where you can go? Are you seeing what you can have? Are you seeing? It was God that said it. For all the land that thou seest. He said, look, north and south, east and west. All the land that you are seeing. To you will I give it to, and to your seed forever. So are you seeing now? Are you seeing those homes? Are you seeing those beautiful houses? Are you seeing those admissions, those scholarships, those schools? Are you seeing that beautiful car? Are you seeing? Are you seeing? Do I have people that are seeing in church today? That's what I want to help you to do today, to see. See possibilities. See possibilities. Don't be distracted. This is the time to introspect. What are you seeing? Usai, what are you seeing? I know you're still a student. What are you seeing? What are you seeing? You are waiting for service, right? What are you seeing? What are you seeing? What are you seeing? What businesses are you seeing? What families are you seeing? What are you seeing? Are you in church today, please? Oh, God. Are you in church today? Are you seeing something? You know, in an atmosphere like this where the presence of God is, you know, ideas get fertilized. So what are you saying? And let me tell you this. when you are born again and your life is regulated by the word of God, your mind is in alignment with the mind of Christ. So for me, for example, I have this principle that when an idea comes into my mind, because my mind is renewed after Christ, I know the idea is from God. Of course, it's not all ideas I will utilize for anything. Some of them I just tell myself I don't have the capacity to, I'm not disposed to run it. Praise God. So ideas will be flying through your minds now in your business, in your personal life, in many areas. Just know that these ideas are of God. It doesn't matter whether you decide to use the ideas or not, or drive them or not, but just know that any idea that is flying through your mind now is from God. So think. So on this page, just write as much as you can think. I want to go to school in Canada. I want to build a new house. I want to start that business. That I know that once I can start that business will settle me financially for the rest of my life. I want to start that business. And be specific. Don't just say I want to start business. Because I believe that there is something flying in the mind of people right now. See. This is the presence of God. So ideas are being fertilized right now. Ideas are being fertilized right now. So you must put yourself in a position to catch those hunches. Praise God. I want to do my PhD. I must register for my PhD this year. I must register for my master's this year. I want to have my first vacation. I want to travel to the US. I want to travel to Canada. I want to travel to Australia. I want to buy land. In fact, I want to declare this year that this year will be Operation Buy My Land for practically every member of this church. If you don't have a land of your own, this year you must get one. Say amen. Murphy, you will drive that. I want people that have as low as 100,000 deposit and let the land be reserved. There are places in this town where you can get land for 300,000, 500,000. Depends on your taste. So, Murphy, please, Operation Buy Your Land. You know, what I'm telling you now is the same thing I do with some of my staff, and they are so grateful. They say, they never imagined. Because when you did your analysis last week, you realized that for some of you, how many of you did that financial analysis? You know, I tell you to go and do an estimation of all the money that got to your hands, right? How many of you did? How many of you were surprised? You were surprised that you mean, Chai, I thought I was broke and poor, but this year, 2 million went through my hand. How many of you? Can I see if you did that estimation? You did? You did. You'll be surprised what happened. You'll be surprised. And you'll be shocked that maybe you spent too much money on ice cream. You spent too much money on hair. You spent too much money on, you just spent too much money on things that didn't add value. So I like Murphy to drive that vision. Murphy, Elaye will join you in that. Elaye, you will join Murphy in that. This year is Operation Buy a Land. It doesn't matter whether you are married or single. Eh? Oh, God. You know, at the end of this year, I want to say 100 people come out from this church and say, oh, I bought a land this year. I bought a land. I can't believe it. I get land. Can you imagine me? I get land. I get land. Operation Get a Land. The land you may buy 300,000 this year. By next year ending, it will be 1 million. Abi? This year, Operation. Please post it in the singles chat. Post it in the couples chat that this year is Operation Buy a Land. That by December, from December 1st, I want to start hearing the testimonies. Pastor, I finally bought the land. Pastor, I finally bought. I want to see 100 people. Praise God. Operation Buy Your Land. Write more. It doesn't matter whether you are a student or not. Students do own lands because money they enter your hand. Praise God. So you write as many as you want to write. I want to start that business. Specify the business. I want to expand my business to this level. Specify. Be very specific. I want to get that master's. I want to get that PhD. I want to write. Just keep writing. Write as much as you can. I want to open that shop. I want to get married. Write. Just keep writing. As far as you can see, all the land that thou seest, to you I will give. If you can't see, you can't have. Are we together, please? The next page is to define specifically some of the areas that you may need to be more specific in your dream. Define the most important aspect of this year, in the following areas. Which events will be the most important? Summarize briefly. Personal life and family. What do you want to see? In your personal life and family, what do you want to see? Praise God. Belongings. What do you want to see? So everybody will put land. If you don't already have a land, put land there, land. It doesn't matter whether you are a student, put it. Say land. I want to buy land. If you already have your land, I want to lay my foundation. If you've already laid a foundation, I want to complete my house. Homes and belonging. Oh, I need an extra car. I need a new car. I need a car. Home and belonging. I need, write it out. Family life, write it out. What do you want to see? Okay, I want to get married this year. Okay, I want to do this year. Okay, I want to, for family. Oh, I want my family to go on vacation this year. Oh, I want to do my children's passport this year. Oh, I want to write it out. I want peace in my home this year. Write it out. The wala is too much. Write it out. They said the maggot was born inside sheets to love it. When you see maggots in those pit toilets, right? They are all happy. That's why they are all happy. Sometimes if you don't sit down to reflect, you won't know that your condition is deplorable. You won't just know. You think that that's how life is. Personal life and family. I must add a certificate to myself. Okay, of course, that one you can put it in your intellect or education. It's important. It's important. Oh, I want an extra child. Like Murphy. Murphy, she said amen, oh. Hey. Your friends and family, what are the things you want to do? What impact do you want to make in your community? Write it out. Intellectual, what are the things you want to do for yourself intellectually? Oh, how many books do you want to read? Write it out intellectually. Finance, very key. I did an analysis of my finances and I saw that my gross earning last year was 2 million. I want to move my gross earning to 4 million this year. I did an analysis and I realized that my expenditure as a family was way over the roof. It was over 70% of my gross earning. I want to reduce my expenditure for operations, everyday living, to 40% of my gross earning. Finance, write it down. Last year, I could only save 1 million. This year, I want to save 2 million. Write it down. Last year, I gave church. Why will I not add church? I gave church 100,000. This year, I want to give church 500,000. Write it down. Let me tell you this about this church. I would rather you have a culture of giving to the work of God than for you to give because the pastor preached a fantastic sermon. I would rather you tell yourself, every month I want to give 5,000 or 10,000 naira as offering, rather than you come to church and depend on how hot the message is, you give more. Do you know that when I began to do this estimation of what I give in church, I became so embarrassed that, and now that's when I decided to be upping my offering. Think about it. If I give 5,000 naira every offering, that's just about 20,000 naira a month. So imagine when I think that all I gave this month in church was just 20,000. Then I will appraise myself. Does that sound good? Some of you, all you give to church in a month is less than 1,000. Do you know why? Because you don't plan it. So plan it. Add it to your plans. Please, when you are planning, know that we want to buy a property this year. Now, so now, to say, I'll be teaching you all these things, then I will not add church inside it. For we are Wusai. But this finance is very important. My expenditure pattern was skewed towards so and so, beauty. I spend 200,000 naira on hair. I spend 300,000 naira on shoes. No, this year it's not going to be like that. Praise God. You know, I used to buy, each time I travel, I used to buy my suits in the U.S., buy suits in the U.S., and I came to, sometime last year, I came to that position that I will not do it again because the Nigerian suit looked good. Because you buy a suit in the U.S., when you convert it, it's almost 100,000, and you buy a suit in Nigeria for 35,000 or 40,000, and when you wear the two, one of them looks like coat, the other one looks like... Abi now? You must tell yourself. You must set those kind of standards for yourself. Put your life on paper. See, the good thing you experience with that is that it puts things in perspective. You may not be able to carry your note and be living, okay, I said I was going to, and just be generally, but it generally guides your mind. And I tell you, if you are the one that wrote it down, I'm sure they will stick in your brain. They will be guiding you. It's very critical. Finances, your finances, family finances. Family finances. It's very critical. It's very critical. What must I do to increase our earning as a family? This family is growing. We are beginning to have children. How do we increase our earning? I used to give my wife 10,000 naira, but things have gone up. Okay, this year to be 20,000. I'm sure the women will love me for that. You must plan it. Work, studies, and profession. I called some of my colleagues some time ago and I asked them what were their professional aspirations. I was shocked that they really didn't have substantive, what was your professional aspiration? The mistake many of you are making, many of you who work here, especially who work in structured organization, the mistake many of you are making is that you just go to work and close. Today on Dusty End. Absolutely no professional aspiration. Absolutely none. You can't live your life like that. You cannot live your life like that. No professional aspiration. So I told them, okay, so you just be coming to work like this. Maybe 3 years' time, they will not promote you. Maybe after 15 years, you'll not be an assistant manager. After 20 years, you'll not be a deputy manager. Then you'll not become grumpy and annoyed. Have you seen, go to some banks and see, I have some of them too in our system. They are just generally disgruntled. They just feel that the system cheated them. The system did not cheat you. You cheated yourself. Time and chance happening to them all. What are your professional aspirations? You must have professional aspirations. You must. I know how it has impacted people's lives when I started talking about that with some of my junior staff. I called them and said, look, what do? You are a teller, and on this your job, the bank is very magnanimous. When you come in, the bank tells you that, Okay, after 6 years, once you've done 6 years, you know that your employment can be determined because you are a contract staff. And we give you opportunities for conversion. You did not make use of the opportunities for conversion. You did not add any value to yourself. And you are feeling that the bank is doing you bad. The bank told you well ahead of time. I remember doing a mail to my head of HR about some staff and said, this person has been in this grade. He's 10 years at the junior level. He is 10 years. The woman replied me and said, what? In fact, we need to sack them. They have no aspiration. How could you have been in that grade? That was the response. So I called and said, Cook, let's leave it to. I thought I was going to help them. She said, what? They've been not checkers 10 years, 12 years. In fact, we need to sack those people. How can you wake up every morning and go to work and close and go home? Eat dinner, watch television, sleep, rise up again, go to work. Absolutely no professional aspiration. How can you? Sit down and look at your field. Say, okay, what are the things I need to add? What are the things I need to do? This is the position I want to get to. This is what I want to do. And prepare yourself for it. Prepare yourself for it. You must have professional aspirations. You know, I was telling some of my friends, I said, look, if any of you here are thinking that my dream is to become a bishop, I say you are misfired. I say I'd rather be called a CEO than bishop. The title bishop is too restricting. So if you are owing me now and I'm fighting you on the street, they will not say, oh, bishop. Can you imagine? The bishop is fighting. But when I'm Osas and you are owing me, I say today and today, if you are not giving me this money today, we are not living here. Today, you are owing me now. If I remember when I went to display in one big man's office, the man is owing me. I've been begging him. He's owing my job, my office, and my job is to recover that money. I've been begging him. The man has been speaking grammar for me. He came to my office. I was begging him, give me your property, let's sell. He came to my office to tell me, I am not giving. I said, what? You are owing me and you are talking? Wait for me, I'm coming. And I went to his office. I harassed the living daylight out of him. Have you seen harassment? Harassed. That's how the man stood. He could not believe it. I said, we own all this place. Off the gen. It's our gen. Off it. I harassed him. In fact, I had to quickly delete all those videos because if you see those videos outside, you'll be ashamed of your pastor. That's why I said, I cannot be a bishop. It's not good. I don't want to go and disgrace the name bishopness. I don't want to. Yeah, Amy, you're talking. I harassed him. And I said, look, film me. I said, this one, I'm putting it on television, EBS, ITV. I said, okay, we are here for this, all this here belong to us. This man is owing us. He has not paid, and he has been speaking grammar. So we are here to, from now henceforth, all this facility here belongs to us. The man was, do you know, before I got back to my office, he was there waiting for me. He said, okay, take the property, sell it now. Just sell. Let's pay all this money. I said, exactly. See, today, any manager that has taken our office, the man always told them that guy was there before you. He's a bad person. He's a bad person. He's a bad person. We went to the premises, Lucky said he's not at home. I said, okay, by the time I'm through here, he will be at home. Started banging the door. Debt, open, debt. Let people know, let people. They open and let us in. You know, I'm a terrorist. I have small terrorism inside of me. I had to hide those videos. I say, hey, God, make this man, make them not go put this thing for social media. They'll say, what is that? That can be Pastor Osas. He's a very gentleman. So we had to hide those videos. I terrorized the man. You can't be owing me and you are coming to my office to speak grammar. So imagine that if I'm not bishop, it's forgiveness we'll be talking about. Oh, bishop, forgive, a man of God. Then I'll not say, the Lord bless you. I cannot even walk normally again. I'll not be wearing cross. Big, no. It can't work. Ah! The thought panics me. Can't work. No way. Praise God. So you must have professional aspirations. I have professional aspirations. I'm a banker. And whatever is worth doing well. I made mistakes in the past by thinking that I wanted to just do banking for 5 years and leave. But, banking is like Pringles. How many of you like Pringles? Onion flavor. When you buy a Pringle can, you say, okay, I'll just take 2 and keep the rest. But your mind will never be at rest until it's finished. So you keep taking 2, and it will just melt. Very nice. That's okay. Let me just take this one. This is the last. No, this is the last. Until the Pringle. Sometimes when you finish the Pringle, your upper palate will even start scratching because too much Pringle has scratched it a little. Until it's finished. That's how banking is. You think that, this job is a useless job. Let me just start it 5 years' time. I make some money and I move on. No, you realize that it's like Pringles. Before you know it, in those days, people used to tell me, I have 10 years banking experience. I say, you mean you have been on this job for 10 years? But I've been there for 17 years now. So will I not be a fool if I don't have professional aspiration? You are a medical doctor, have professional aspiration. You are a teacher, have professional aspiration. You are a public servant, have professional aspiration. You are a policeman, have professional aspiration. You are a lecturer, have professional aspiration. You are an educator. Anything you are doing, you must have professional aspiration. I open at the here. You must have professional aspiration. How many of you are teachers here? If you are a teacher, you are a teacher, you are a teacher, you are a teacher. How many of you are teachers? You are a teacher, you are a teacher. Why can't we have, in the next 10 years, why can't we have 20 PhD holders in this church, 100 PhD holders in this church? You're already a teacher now. Praise God. You must have professional aspirations. You must have professional aspirations. So, put it down. What are your professional aspirations? Studies. I was sharing with a friend and said, look, this white hair you see, the guy said, yes, it is wisdom. I said, my own is not wisdom. My own is stress. Oh, so that you don't go and mistake to think that everybody with white hair is wisdom. Oh. Some of them are there's no wisdom. The word wisdom and them are not incongruous. Because I'm reading. I have dreams on the job. I'm reading. I have professional aspirations. Oh, I want to be a CRO minimum before I leave banking. Minimum CRO. What are the things that I need to become a CRO? Oh, if I have a professional financial risk management certification, that would be fantastic. Oh, if I have a CFA, that would be fantastic. What will it cost me to do a CFA? What will it cost me to do a CPA or a ACCA? What will it cost me? You must have professional aspiration. The second one is relaxation hobby. All work and no play make Jack a dull boy. Look, life is sweet. Please, Wallahu Baba, life is sweet. Some of you are just you just work, as if you came to this life to work. Just work. If you see, you become hard work, you working. Please stop down and relax. Tell your neighbor, say, relax this year. Relax. Waiting. Work by Yarea. That's not how they say it in Benin. What is it? Cool down. So you must have your projections for relaxation and enjoyment, creativity, sports. You must have. Praise God. You must have. And let me say this. What you spend to relax is what you pay yourself. You pay your driver, you pay your mechanic, you pay your laundryman, you keep paying everybody, you refuse to pay yourself. Relax. You must write out what are the fantasies you have. What are the fantasies? And give yourself a break and enjoy them. Of course, you know, when I talk about relaxation, I'm not talking about you breaking rules of ethics and morality. But relax. Life is good. For some of you, you just need to raise like 200,000 to 500,000 this year or more and say, I beg, let's go to Dubai. Take your wife if you are married, say, let's go to Dubai. I've heard about Dubai, let me just go. What is it? I beg you. This life, I can't keep myself. Oh, I can't keep myself. Oh, this life, I can't keep myself. I can't keep myself. Allow me to flex. Oh, flex. Couples, we'll say, let's have couples retreat. You will see them, as if it's punishment. For goodness sake, couples. And I ask many of you, how many of you in the last 2 years, in the last 3 years, have just booked a hotel? You and your wife go there. Say, I beg, these children, I didn't come to work because of them. Grandma, oh yeah, go to grandma's house. And you guys will take time out and enjoy yourself. Give yourself a break. Life is good. How can you leave this world and just struggle? Let it be on record that me too, I don't taste them. Praise God. Let it be on record. Some of you will go to Chicken Republic, you'll be seeing all those chicken rotisserie rolling. You have only eaten it in your dream. It's only an imagination. Put it down. Say, this year, chicken rotisserie, I will eat it. So they say, how much is it, sir? Maybe 5,000-10,000. Buy it. Call your family. Live chicken. Tell the live one, not all those chunk one, the live one. So when people are talking about chicken, I've eaten that chicken too. Stop and relax. Now, some of you here, you've never watched movies in the cinema. You only hear it, cinema. Even though me, I always sleep inside the cinema. And I wonder why people are wondering why I sleep inside the cinema. Is it your sleep? My wife will say, I can't imagine it, that with all this noise, you'll be sleeping inside cinema. It's strange. I say, yes. When I enter the cinema, it relaxes me. And once my system relaxes, it doesn't matter, let the whole world be crumbling around me, I will sleep. Relax. Please, relax. You know, one of the reasons why I plan social events a lot in this church, okay, let's have dinner, okay, let's people come, let's dance, okay, midnight, let's have fireworks. It's just to encourage those kind of things. Relax. It's healthy fun. It's healthy fun. Praise God. Any money you spend on your body, on yourself, it's not a waste. Pay yourself. Some of you never bought a good phone in your life since they born you. The best phone you have bought is 20,000. 20,000. Since they born you. For goodness sake now. For goodness sake now. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. If you can afford a good car, please don't drive a jalopy. If you can afford a good car, buy a good car. Health and fitness, very important. Some of you have no plans for your health. No plans. And I've been talking to some of my friends. I'm realizing that young people of under 30 are beginning to have stroke as like normal older people. And it's strange. The reason is that you don't stop to check. So you must put your health dreams and expectations. Fitness, register in a gym. Go and gym. Stroll on the street. Do something that keep life exciting. Say, I've been hearing somebody near me saying that, this year she wants to cut down her weight. She wants to cut down her weight, She was talking to her friend one day when we saw the friend jogging and the friend was And she said, I'm going to, please call me. And I said, please be calling her because for over 10 years now, she has been saying she will be jogging. Over 10 years, she has been saying she will be jogging. Over 10 years. Please, Baba, call her, call her, call her. I didn't mention name. But on a lighter note, it's important you schedule your health programs. It's very important. It's very important. It's very important. As you grow older, you realize that the biggest wealth you can have is your health. Don't be carried away by the illusion that I'm young. For those of you that are older, you should buy a blood pressure checking machine. You should always check. Do your body mass index and check if you are overweight. If you are overweight, cut it. Give yourself weight budget that I'm 100 kilograms, I want to become 80 by the end of this year. Please do that. Emotional and spiritual. Very important. You know, it's when you go out on the street, you realize that people have mental health problems. Not the one you see that are already degenerated. Normal people. Some of them are in your offices. They have mental health problems. The way they behave, you will know that something is not right, but you cannot lay hands on. There's mental health problem. Mental health problem. So please, you must schedule things that improves your emotional health and your spiritual health. You must tell yourself this year, I want to go to church more. I want to get involved in community, in church, in a group. I want to be contributing to my environment. So you must do things that enhance your emotional health. Some of the things you need to do to enhance your emotional health, cut off toxic relationships.